second of 4 historic Formula Ford races this weekend comes from the Croft Nostalgia Festival at the Croft Circuit. The championship race for round 9 of the season. Huge entry of 40 plus cars entered the event. So we had a heat earlier on, and the results of that race make up 13 backwards on this grid and qualifying, making up the front 6 rows. 2 groups of sessions equated to the qualifying times, and this is how they position themselves after that session. We Callum Grant on pole position, multiple winner already in the season. Simon Toyner go off alongside him. We've got Ben Tustin and Mark Shaw, the 2 speedball cars behind the Neil Fowler Motorsport machine off Toy. We've got Ben Tilley and Danny Stanzl, a couple of privateer entries ahead of Robert Tusting and Rob Wainwright. Perty Kaviri and Neil Chenna complete the top 10. The winner of the earlier race, Will Nuttall, he will start in 13th for this 32 car entry. A great capacity grid of the fastest 32 runners here at Croft. So it's Callum Grant that lines up at the front of the field in his Merlin Mark 20, the most favoured cars in the historic Formula Ford Championship. Grant, a former champion, he's looking to add another championship this season, and the lights go out. He gets underway. It's a good start from Grant. Can Simon Toy do anything about him? He's the driver alongside. He's checking his mirrors out. Good start from Ben Sims. He qualified a bit further back than you'd expect. He's going alongside both Neil Shenner and David Wild, heading down towards Clairvaux, and Sims is later on the brakes, very late on the brakes in that Jomo. We've got Ross Driver going board with him, and he loops it around. He would run at the front of the heat. He spuns in front of the pack. Cars have to scatter left and right. Some cars take into the grass as well as the runoff areas. So the Jomo of Ben Sims makes his way through a very quick chicane. A couple of cars in front running out of tarmac and ended up on the grass and kicking up all the dust. But they head down towards Tower Corner. They all survived, and it's side by side racing up ahead of Sims. And running out wide there, Perty Kaviri, as he was attacking on the outside line. In front of Danny Stanzl, they're almost going 3 wide. That's Ben Tilley that loses out as they go into the Jim Clark S's. But in fact, Tilley is sticking to his ground on the inside of the second part of the S's. And is he going to stay ahead? Yes, he does. So Ben Tilley staying ahead of Danny Stanzl. That was a close bit of racing, though, heading now through Sunny Inn. And there's another car that's running out onto the grass. So a few drivers exploring the limits and more some of this Croft circuit. Now down towards the complex they go, the left-handed corner. Stanzl, a lot of opposite lock through there. And who's that running out wide on the cement dust? That looked like Ben Sims. He survived though, he's carried on. As he exiting the chicane, Callum Grant trying to break away already, and it was Simon Toyne in second, back on board with Sims, who's going to lose out once more to Perty Kaviri. Sims has a good exit. There's hardly room for him to come alongside Kaviri though, but he has done it, and he levelled with Sims coming out of the corner again, with Kaviri coming out the corner once more. Sims and Kaviri then head their way down towards Clairvaux, battling away. Meanwhile, Will Nuttall we can ride on board with out of the chicane, using all the road up there. He's got a good exit to the corner, and he's pulling alongside David Wild, and he's going ahead of him, heading down towards Tower Corner. Can Wild do anything on the inside line? Nope. He's gone through, and so is James Buckton there. So Buckton using Nuttall there to go ahead. Ross Driver, he's got to make up some places, and all he sees out of the chicane is a load of dust as cars continue to explore the track limits at this Croft circuit. They could well be getting a warning for that too. Danny Stanzl has a whole heap of opposite lock heading through Sunny Inn, then clatters the curb through Sunny out as he chases after the battle ahead. I think that's Ben Tilley dicing with the car ahead of him. Look at that, how much work has to go into the steering for Stanzl. He's got a lot of speed through the complex there, and it's looks like Mark Shaw battling with Ben Tilley. Out of turn, the final turn comes Callum Grant, who's really pulling away from the rest of the field now. Will Nuttall slides his way out of the complex into the hairpin. There's a lock-up up ahead and a spin. That's Ben Sims that's looped it around. Neil Shenner runs out wide. We're on board with Sims, and there's damage to Perty Kaviri. So quite possibly their contact. Kaviri and Sims were battling. Damage to the front of Hurty Kaviri's car certainly suggests what might have happened there. Car slowing up into Clairvaux here. There's yellow flags waving furiously. And we have the safety car out with Kaviri's car stuck in the middle of the road. So Callum Grant is erasing his lead and comes back to naught. In second is Simon Toy, and in third place is Rob Wainwright.
Lead that Callum Grant had.
Very often we get safety cars in at the historic sports car club races. So a new element here for Callum Grant. The safety car lights go out. It's to pace the field, no overtaking until the cars pass the green flags on the starting marshal's post. So Grant is back to right up, and then he goes when he wants to, and he's made a good restart there because Simon Toyn is not attached to the gearbox of Callum Grant no longer. So they exit the hairpin. To time it, you don't catch the safety car. The safety car's in the pit lane. Grant's timed that perfectly, and he's already pulled out a good margin. Like Mark Shaw and Ben Tilley were still nose to tail, so Tilley will be looking for a way past, heading into Clairvaux, and Tilley locks up. There's contact there with Ben Tilley, quite possibly, and Tilley's gone off stage left towards the gravel trap on the tyre wall there on the exit of Clairvaux. We ride on board with Ben Sims. You can see the dust there, and Tilley, yes, is off. He's facing the wrong way too. You saw there was a lock up from Ben Tusting. And that is the end of Ben Tilley's race. So Ben Sims now we can ride on board with, going down the straight towards Tower Bend. The right-hander, it's a good slipstreaming spot this is. You can see the car in front using up all the road. They're side by side ahead of him. So it's sideways, it's Will Nuttall there who was on the outside line, so he couldn't make that move done. And look at the speed that Ben Sims has. He's going around the outside of Neil Shinner there. He has to back out of that. Not enough room through the Jim Clark S's to make that move done. Then heading in towards Sunny Inn. Ben Sims much later on the brakes. Former champion in this formula, of course, is Sims. Callum Grant, race leader then, turns through the complex, and Rob Wainwright has gone second. He's got ahead of Simon Toyn, and Ben Tusting comes down the inside of Danny Stanzl. The two of them will continue to run side by side. It's Stanzl on the inside line for the final corner on this cross circuit, the hairpin. Tad of opposite lock there for Stanzl, using all the road on the exit of the corner to gain the most speed, coming down the start and finish straight. Stanzl taking a defensive line in towards Clairvaux, the first corner on this circuit. Heading down towards the really far chicane, flat out in these Formula Ford cars, and clatter over the curves without hitting that tyre stack. Will Nuttall, fresh from a win at the Silverstone Classic. He's just behind the cars ahead. Ben Sims was challenging Nuttall there, later on the brakes, but couldn't find a way through. But a good exit to Tower Bend for Sims. Now Sims trying to come up alongside Nuttall. Can't do that. And down at Sunny is Grant, and look at the battle for second. That's Wainwright and Toy. In fourth position is Mark Shaw, and it's Tusting and Stanzl. So in fact it was Shaw that was going down the inside of Tilley earlier on when he locked up. It's Tusting battling with Stanzl. Nuttall's trying to come round the outside here too. Very similarly liveried cars, the two cars that come out of the Speed for Horning. The classic Team Merlin runners. Very difficult to tell apart. Neil Fowler Motorsport, of course, the other top line pair of historic Formula Ford cars. They all run in different liveries, which makes it much easier to work out which one is which. So Danny Stanzl turning his way then out of the opening sequence of corners here at Croft. A big load of opposite lock there as Ben Tusting comes past him. The two cars were very close indeed through there. Now what can Will Nuttall do? Well, he's got to run on both of them. It's Tusting on the inside, Stanzl's on the outside, and Nuttall breaks really late, and he's going to try and follow Tusting through here. They're still side by side then, are Stanzl and Nuttall, heading down towards the Jim Clark S's. Right underneath Tusting is Stanzl. Now Stanzl looking to the inside, looks to the outside, no way through, bit further up ahead. It's still Callum Grant that drifts his way through in the race lead. And he flies down towards the complex, passing the spectator banking. There's a run up a second, that's Wainwright and Toy. The fourth position is Mark Shaw. Will Nuttall's using a lot of road on the exit of Sunny there over the curbs, two wheels over the grass too, and then down towards the complex. It's Stanzl up ahead, and ahead of him is Ben Tusting. Big slide for Stanzl, he tries to carry as much speed out of the corner as possible, then into the left-hander at the hairpin. Of course, in these historic racing cars, you can slide the cars around without losing any momentum. If anything, it's quicker to do so. Treaded tyres, of course, on these cars. So what can Stanzl do to get ahead of Tusting, heading down towards Clairvaux? He's got a good toe. He's looking to the inside. Tusting not defending too hard there, but he stays ahead. He's using a lot of road on the exit of the corner, just about keeping part of the inside tyres on the tarmac. Inside the white line, out of the chicane. What's Ben Sims up to? Well, he's trying to gain another position, recovering from that incident earlier in the race. He's getting a toe down towards Tower Bend. He jinks left to go past Robert Tusting, and yes, he's nosing ahead. He's much later to the brakes than anybody else around him, so he gains the position. And now heading down towards the very quick, excited Jim Clark S. It's Tusting, Stanzl and Nuttall we're now on board with. It's Dice, and here comes Stanzl looking down the inside there. They head down towards Sunny, but not quite finding a Formula 4 car width on the inside of Stanzl as of yet, but he's certainly giving it a good go. Down towards the left-hander at the complex. Stanzl again looking to the inside of Tusting. Can't do that. Tusting using loads of curbs on the inside of the corner. Big slide out the corner for Stanzl. Through they go then. And look at Ben Sims. He's catching them. So Will Nuttall continuing to chase Danny Stanzl, who in turn is challenging Ben Tusting. A real look there up on the inside, but he couldn't find a way through. So down through Sunny and now up towards the complex. So through the left-hander. Big slide there for Stanzl. And down towards the hairpin they go once more. Can Nuttall find a way to the inside, possibly? Not seem to be, not this time. What about Will Nuttall? Well, he's checking his mirrors. He knows the flying Ben Sims is coming towards him. What can Will Nuttall do then? He's in a Jamin, Stanzl in an Eldon, Tusting up ahead in a Merling, and behind it's a Jomo for Ben Sims. The 4 different Formula Ford manufacturers being used by these 4 drivers, and a good run out the corner for Nuttall. He's up alongside Danny Stanzl now. Stanzl's got the inside though for Tower Bend. He's later on the brakes, but then Nuttall carried the speed through the corner, but he can't find a way through. We saw in the heat Nuttall take the victory, and a lot of his moves were around the outside at Tower, but of course these competitors in the championship race with a lot more speed than he had to battle with earlier on. Sliding out of the hairpin comes Ross Driver. Remember, he spun on lap 1, turn 1, so he's having to make up places. John Hayes Harlow, who he's got a good run on. He's looking to the inside, heading up towards the first corner on this Croft circuit through Clairvaux, and he goes through. Meanwhile, there is Callum Grant. He is your race leader still, and that lead is increasing. It's Rob Wainwright who is battling with Simon Toyne. There in 4th position is Mark Shaw. The real battle for the race has been for 5th, and it's there Ben Tusting, Danny Stanzl, Will Nuttall and Ben Sims that continue to run in that order. James Butchin's all over the back of Rob Tusting. Now we've got Neil Shinner and David Wild behind. Roland Spencer is the next driver through. Plenty of battles all the way through the field. As ever, in the historic Formula 4 Championship. Doesn't matter really what pace you have, you will find somebody to race against. There's Hayes Harlow. Going through, he'd already lost time to Ross Driver. There's James Lovett in one of the many Neil Fowler Motorsport cars. And there is Danny Stanzl being chased by Will Nuttall. Stanzl taking the very lurid sideways line through there, but he carries the speed through the complex very well indeed. And he continues to stay ahead of Will Nuttall. There's Svensson, he's ahead of Rob Smith. And then Ed Thurston's in that, I think in his first ever motor race. Certainly his first motor race in historic Formula 4. Danny Stanzl runs out wide. He avoids going out into the gravel, though Ben Tusting is just starting to eke away from this battle now. It's Stanzl, it's Nuttall, and then Sims behind. Through the chicane. Down towards Tower Bend they will now go. What kind of slipstream can Nuttall get? But it's going well, and is Stanzl just about going to defend the inside line? Well, Nuttall trying to squeeze down the inside. It looks like he may well do this. Yes, Stanzl had to give some room there to Nuttall, and he did so, and Nuttall has made the most of it, and he's gone up into 6th position. He started 13th, so this has been a very good run indeed from Will Nuttall. He didn't even start at the front of the heat either. Meanwhile, I believe this is James Buckton having a dive down the inside, a very aggressive move there to get ahead of Rob Tusting, but he's made it work, he's gone through. Meanwhile, there's Callum Grant. He continues to be our race leader with this ever-increasing margin to Rob Wainwright, and then Simon Toyne. In 4th position is Mark Shaw. He can't quite keep up with the cars ahead. 5th spot, there is Ben Tusting. He passes Marshall Post on the inside of the circuit. Then you've got Nuttall, Stanzl and Sims. Nuttall there, 2 wheels over the grass. That's going to lose him momentum. Can Stanzl make anything of this? It's quite a short straight down in towards the complex. Stanzl looks to the inside, but he can't quite find a way through. There's the Buckton and Robert Tusting battle against Stanzl, carrying a lot more speed through the complex, but there's no way through there to get ahead of Will Nuttall. Then they turn left at the hairpin, but it continues to be Will Nuttall. Meanwhile, we can ride aboard with Callum Grant that continues to lead this race at Croft. It's a gap coming up to 5 seconds for Callum Grant over the chasing pack. Continue to be second. It's the battle between Rob Wainwright and Simon Toyne. That looks to be our podium positions in this, the 9th round of the championship. Another race to come tomorrow. Well, the championship has a double header at the Alton Park Gold Cup. Brands Hatch a double header there too. Brands Hatch Indy Circuit before the season finals at Silverstone. First time ever a double header there too. A good number of double headers to end the season off here at for the historic Formula 4 Championship 2016. It's been a great season with the majority of rounds having more than a capacity field. Already Alton Park is overfilled, so there's reserves for that event. So Callum Grant continues to lead with this big gap. In 2nd place it is Rob Wainwright. He just started to eke out a slightest margin to Simon Toyne. Well, what's going to happen in the battle of a stick? Because Danny Stanzl once more looks to the inside of Will Nuttall. He still can't find a way through. There's Ben Sims, he's behind a big slide for Danny Stanzl coming out of the complex. He doesn't gain much advantage, but he doesn't lose anything either in all that. Big slide further back too. Ben Sims, we can ride on board with the battling trio come across the line. There's Rob Smith. He's chasing Roland Spencer. He's got a good exit to the complex there as they head down towards the hairpin. He was having a good challenge. Big slide there too from Cormac Bannigan. The tyres start to go off towards the end of the 20 minutes. You'll see the slides getting bigger and bigger. Ben Sims trying to find some room there through these opening sequence of corners to get ahead of Danny Stanzl. He can't do it. In turn, Stanzl trying to find a way past Will Nuttall. Nuttall having to defend. Stanzl has a good run out the chicane. He's already up alongside, but he's on the outside for the tower corner. And it's Ben Sims going to look down the inside of both of them. There's room there for him to do it. Can he do it? Well, he's got past Nuttall. He can't get past Danny Stanzl. Stanzl used the outside line to go ahead of, or keep ahead of Sims and go ahead of Nuttall. Into the Jim Clark S's, they're side by side, and Sims is also going to go past Nuttall, so the big loser there is Will Nuttall as he loses 2 positions. There's Ben Tusting, who's just up the road from them, drifting his car through the corner. Is Stanzl being chased by Sims. Nuttall again kicks up the grass and all the dust on the exit of the turn. Callum Grant looking good to take in the victory, overlooked by Dad and car preparer Nigel. Who's going to take 6th position though, because that's really been the battle of the race. Well, it is Danny Stanzl ahead of Ben Sims and Will Nuttall. They come through for should be the final time of this race. Behind it's Buckton and Rob Tusting continuing their dice. Danny Stanzl then turns left through the hairpin. Hey, side by side because Ben Sims has got up alongside him. Stanzl's got the better exit to the corner, so Sims goes back into the slipstream, but he's not going to find a way through before the line. And Stanzl is delighted there with taking 6th position. Rob Smith, he's got ahead of Rowan Svensson and Ed Thurston in that battle too as they head down into the complex. Good trio battle. There's Ross Driver, he's had to come through the field after that spin. He's chasing Cormac Flanagan to the line. Let's go on board with Ross Driver for the final couple of corners. To the hairpin, oh, big slide as the back end tries to overtake the front. Well, he saved it. The car there not necessarily doing what he wanted it to do. So let's take a look at the result then. It was Callum Grant that won. It is Merlin. He beat Rob Wainwright. 3rd was Simon Toyne. 4th was Mark Shaw ahead of Ben Tusting, and Danny Stanzl won that great battle for 6th. Ahead of Ben Sims and Will Nuttall. 2 very experienced historic racers. James Buckton took 9th ahead of Robert Tusting. David Wild was 11th with Neil Shinner and Rob Smith. Roland Svensson, Ed Thurston. And we got Andrew Wiggins, Alex Meek, Cormac Flanagan, Ross Driver and Kevin Stanzl completed the top 20. Then John Hayes Harlow, Roy Swerju, Dick Dixon, James Lovett, Jeff Underwood, John Slack and Peter Hamilton completing 27 finishers in this opening championship race at Croft for the historic Formula 4 Championship.